going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It is a Wednesday. We're going to talk a lot of basketball. The two teams that are tied with the Ducks in the Pac-12 standings, atop the Pac-12 standings, are at Matthew Knight Arena this weekend. Also, Oregon women's basketball at home this weekend. 4 days of home basketball at Matthew Knight Arena, which means that the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com is going to be very, very busy. The keyboard's probably going to be worn out by the end of the weekend. We're going to talk with Rob Moseley coming up, also hearing from Dana Altman and Folly Dante. How about this? Oregon Baseball Preseason Media Day today. We'll have some updates on that today, tomorrow, throughout the week, and a number of updates on Oregon women's basketball. Kelly Graves met with the media today. That's all coming up on Duck Insider. Now, originally, we said that Rob Moseley was going to join us at 1:10. Then we said 1:35. Now we're leading off the show because it's a live broadcast, and sometimes schedules change, and Rob Moseley is here, folks. What's up, man? How are you?
Thanks for being flexible, man.
Hey, dude, it's live broadcast. Stuff happens. Rob poked his head in 30 seconds ago and was like, so can we switch back? And I was like, or we could go now. So what's up, man? How are you?
I'm okay. You?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. You know, I'm just glad to have power again.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple people who got power back just this past Monday.
Yep, that was me.
That was you?
Yep.
Yeah. Eric Evans, Dave Williford.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are near and dear to me who have gone through it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that we're returning to normalcy. I know there's some folks that are still in that position, so our
shout
thoughts
out
are
for
with
real
you.
to the utility crews.
No doubt about that.
Thankless job.
Yeah. I was finally able to get out of. I live on this little cul-de-sac, so we were kind of stuck back there, which is for very good reason. There's much higher priorities for clearing roads and all that. We never lost power. But being able to get in and out was kind of the biggest inconvenience to us, which in the scope of things was not that big of a deal. But
you'll take it.
We all occupy our own little universes. And
no doubt.
When I finally was able to leave last Wednesday and take the dog for a walk, even though it was a little slippery still, it was starting to melt enough that I could actually get out and go for like a lengthy dog walk. The dog needed it, but man, did I need it at that point too. It was good to just get out of the house and stretch my legs and experience the world a little bit.
I got on an airplane last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Flew with the basketball team to Boulder. A little bit later getting out with the Eugene Airport dealing with all of that. So, yeah, it was quite the week. So, it's just good to see you again, Rob.
That's what I'm saying. It's just nice to be back in kind of a normal routine. I came in here last Tuesday to do a Zoom just to get out of the house, and it was like a 5-mile-an-hour drive to get in here. And then
I thought maybe you walked in snowshoes or ice skates.
No, if I knew how to ice skate, it would have been more effective than the.
I feel like I thought you could ice skate.
No. I've been once or twice, and it was a comedy of errors both times.
Huh. So as the resident hockey fan,
yes,
you cannot ice skate.
No.
I think that should be your New Year's resolution. Ice skate well.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll
Not
happen.
a big New Year's resolution guy, but
not a New Year's resolution guy at all, huh? Okay.
Were we not talking about that?
Well, we were, but you didn't say Happy New Year to me today.
Oh yeah, true.
So
because I've seen you.
Yeah, but you did it like 2 days later.
Yeah.
After you had said Happy New Year already to me, so I was wondering if we were going to get back to the New Year's.
I've gotten 2 in
topic.
this week.
Have
Casey
you?
Martin, I saw him for the first time.
That's pretty good.
And then a former coworker who was in town yesterday.
Yeah.
I was able to.
I have to tell you, so Mike Meniga was on for Tip Off Tuesday, and he walked in and said Happy New Year to us, and I was like,
that so much.
Rob has gotten to you.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I thought of you in that moment.
It's a joyful moment where you're spreading good cheer.
That's right.
I mean, shoot, if somebody walks in and says Happy Halloween, that's great.
I'd be like,
give me some candy.
All
Let's
right,
go.
All right. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Any excuse to spread good vibes.
Yeah, well, I'm here for that. Men's basketball. Talk about good vibes, and Folly Dante brings good vibes.
Yep.
He's maybe a walking double-double at this point.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing to see. Good to see him back out there, even after a tough mountain road trip. A game where he performed really well against Utah Ducks, didn't win, but these are big games against Arizona State and Arizona coming up this week.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Matthew Knight Arena has been so friendly to both basketball teams so far this year. It sure would be nice if that could continue. Get 3 or 4 wins out of this weekend. But yeah, some big time challenges, obviously for both programs and the men. Arizona State is just so scrappy, such a pain to play against, and then Arizona obviously with their tradition. I mean, it's just the latest in a long line of quality teams. So to have Folly back and for him to have some a weekend of games under his belt, and then as Coach Altman said the other day, they knew before he returned that getting him back, reintegrating him was going to be not without some challenges. And, oddly enough, it seems like the biggest challenge is not just relying on him to do everything, which he kind of feels like he's capable of doing. But it just sounds like, guys get caught watching him. Offensively, just kind of like give him the ball and get out of his way. Well, no, you got to make the defense still respect that there's 4 other guys on the court who are threats as well. And then defensively, kind of feeling like if you've got that backstop back there, maybe you don't have to go quite as hard. Well, you still do, for this team to play at the level that where it's its peak eventually lies. So still some things to work out, but obviously having him back is great.
Yeah. So I asked Coach Altman over the weekend. I said, do you think that it makes you a tougher scout? Because now teams are having to account for N'Faly Dante and potentially Nate Biddle here moving forward.
Right.
And, even a new addition who's playing limited minutes like Mookie Cook. Right? The team looks so different now compared to, really a few different times over the course of the year. And I thought it was interesting, Rob. Coach Altman, to me, was like, I don't know. I mean, they know Dante, they know Nate, but to me it's like they don't know what this team is together, and if the opponent doesn't know it, I feel like Oregon's still figuring that out in practice this week.
Yeah, and you mentioned Biddle and getting him back, and I think the X factor for all of us, internally and externally, opponents and fans and media, everybody alike, is like, what does that look like when you have Nate available eventually? Right. How much are the two of them complementing each other and spelling each other, and how much are they playing together? And if they're on the floor together, which roles is each guy playing? And I'm not sure anybody really knows what the answer to that is, because Nate's just starting to ramp it back up and really get consequential practice time under his belt. So the spirit of your question could still live on for a few weeks, and there could still be some ambiguity for all involved. But I think we're all looking forward to seeing kind of what that looks like. But just going to practice and seeing Nate out there is phenomenal. And just thinking about how tough of a matchup he is, and kind of again just how much it changes the dynamic for this team.
Well, and here's what I'm going to borrow a phrase from Coach Menega, actually, from Tip Off Tuesday. He was like, hey, with everything that this team's been through, injury, adversity, like all those things, there's probably not a team in the conference that wouldn't trade places with Oregon right now. Ducks are sitting atop the standings, control their own destiny with good opponents coming up at home, rosters getting healthier. I mean, I think he's right. Like, if you're a Duck fan right now, if you're a Pac-12 basketball fan, you're probably looking at Oregon going, okay, a chance to prove some things at home, but a good position to be in.
Yeah, and I think we talk about this regularly throughout the years. We have that. This time of year is when you're used to things starting to click and starting to head in the right direction. And so it's not unusual at this time of year for this team to feel like, okay, there's a lot of different parts, and we're just starting to get a sense for how they all fit together. And if you look ahead a few weeks, this team could be playing at a really high level. That remains true right now, and yet the foundation that they've laid is so strong compared to some years past that, you really feel like the ceiling's really high.
It's amazing. I've said this before. Like, I think that in some ways the history of Oregon basketball in the now 14 years under Coach Altman, it's like we all sort of have taken it for granted that it's like they're going to figure it out at the end of the year, right? But
like, that's what makes, a couple of the years in the recent past so strange and stick out so much is that you started to take that for granted, and then so when it doesn't happen, it's like, whoa, what's going on? You know, it's like, where's that same magic that we've gotten so accustomed to that we took it for granted?
Well, and that's where like a game like this, right, where this is around the time things start to kind of click. Like a game like Thursday, tomorrow against Arizona State, like a crowd can make a big difference in a game that is for first place. Like first place is on the line this weekend.
Yeah, and then obviously I think, you know, all of us are peeking ahead to Saturday a little bit too. And, and what that crowd is going to be like, and, you know, the football team is going to be on hand.
It's on Fox.
Yeah, and, you know, you talk about the chance to really make a statement about where you're at. But if you screw up Thursday,
right? Exactly.
Takes the shine off that real quick. So those guys, you know, the team better be peeking ahead because, and again, Arizona State is just such a pain to play against. You know, I mean, they're so tough. I mean, their coach sets the tone.
He does,
and you know, it trickles down. So yeah, that's going to be entertaining as well.
4 straight days though of home basketball. It's there's always 1 or 2 of these weekends a year where both teams are at home, and a chance really for on the women's side. I think to prove some things too. Like I like that Coach Graves said he talked with the media this morning. We'll have it for you on the show here coming up. Coach Graves had said like, hey, they took a step back against Cal, but they have taken steps forward here over the last few weeks. A chance to maybe open some eyes this weekend.
Yeah, I think they're very honest with where they're at. You know, with what their their injury situation and kind of the roster makeup and you know, still blending some parts as well. You know, that team as well. That, you know, night in, night out is going to be a challenge. But also night in, night out, if things click well, they can beat pretty much anybody they take the court against.
Yep.
But you can believe that all you want. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And so, we saw some encouraging signs against Arizona and Arizona State. But it'd be nice to do it against, you know, a top half team. Now, you know, with Utah and Colorado, you're talking about elite programs in the conference the last couple of years. And this year's looking no different. So, and particularly with Utah, you know, we've seen this team just get buried under barrage of three-pointers multiple times this season. You know, you hope they've learned some things and figured some things out, you know, to limit the quality of those chances, and then take the lesson from the Cal game. You know, if they aren't falling, get the rebound. Don't give them a second look at it.
It's amazing that Cal only scored 14 points that weren't second chance or off turnovers.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a crazy statistic.
Yeah, I mean, that was a frustrating one, on a lot of fronts. You know, a game you felt like you had a puncher's chance in, and then to not be able to take advantage of that. Again, you know, where they're at any given night, they got a shot against anybody, but that also means you're at risk of getting taken out by anybody, and, you know, that was an example of that. So it's just the focus that they've got to bring. That's the situation they're in. They can't. You know, you can't take possessions off. You can't take stretches of a game off. You know, you can't take a quarter off. Any of that. You know, you just got to be going, and focused on the game plan and focused on working hard. And you know, that's a challenge for all of us. I mean, you know, Lord knows sometimes I'll be sitting at my desk and realize I've been scrolling the internet for 10 minutes, and it's like, get back to what you're supposed to be doing, you know?
Well, and to that point, like, Coach Graves has also been insistent about, you know, that sometimes you look back too much. We can all be guilty of that too.
Totally.
And for this team now, I think it's that idea of looking ahead. And I really appreciated what he said about Peyton Scott today.
No doubt, yeah.
That was cool.
I think it's a lesson for all of us. And again, you know, for those of us who are a little older and still find ourselves susceptible to some of those same things that we see, you know, student athletes, you know, traps them falling into. You know, he said Peyton's message to her teammates was, hey, you know, we got to stop living in the past. If you know, turn the ball over 3 possessions, you know, earlier, you know, get over it. You know, move on to the next one. And KG said himself he can be guilty of that. That, you know, something will happen, and then a minute or two later there's a timeout, and he starts harping on, you know, some breakdown they had a few possessions earlier. Well, it's like, well, no, you know, you got to flip that focus and you know, stay in the moment you're at and focus on the next possession. And you know, to have him say, you know, he took a lesson from Peyton Scott, speaks to just kind of the maturity that she has, and, you know, the basketball IQ she plays with, which God, this team would benefit so much from had she been available. But, you know, again, you know, for those of us who are a little older, just a reminder that, never stop learning, never stop. You know, you can take advice from anybody, even somebody much younger than you. And so, you know, keep yourself open to that, because, you know, quality advice can come from all corners.
Rob Moseley's running around a lot today, so I'll leave you with this. What are you working on? And also, a shout-out to the Mighty Oregon podcast. Tez Johnson was really good.
He was great, yeah. So hopefully everybody checks that out.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
A lot of basketball this week. I'm just kind of like keeping my plate a little bit clean, knowing that this weekend's going to be pretty intense.
Hoops.
Yes.
You're officially a hoop head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it or not.
Seam head.
Fortunately, I like it.
Yeah.
Puck head. Oh, the Penguins are driving me nuts right now.
Yeah. I wasn't going to go there. But
yeah.
Since.
Did you see the own goal the other night?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Thought of you.
It was awesome.
There's been many times this week where I've thought of you. Happy New Year from Mike Menega.
Yeah.
Own goals.
It's nice to make an impression.
Yeah.
Apparently, so the Penguins were playing Arizona, gave up an own goal on a delayed penalty, which meant Arizona was like the first team in 25 years to score a power play goal without having a power play shot in a game.
That's unfortunate.
Something like that, yeah.
See, now you know the dark places that Rob goes sometimes. He's the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. A lot of hoops on GoDucks.com this weekend.
Man.
Hey, thanks for adjusting. Thanks for being flexible.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad we could still have you on the show today.
My head was just in that goal, and I got to get back out of it. All right.
Moving on.
Let's go.
Moving on. Anything else fans should know?
No, just see you at the arena hopefully this weekend. Obviously, with the ice storm, it affected attendance.
No doubt.
Like the last time, the men were at home, for instance. So hopefully some people are eager to get back out and watch some hoops this weekend.
Good stuff. Yeah. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. A quick timeout. We were talking a little bit about what Dana Altman said. Let's hear from the man himself next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. So, yeah, Rob actually has a bunch of different meetings floating around today, so we were able to, I'm glad, lead off the show with him. And now hear a little bit from Dana Altman and Fali Dante previewing these crucial men's basketball games. Look, I can't say this enough. The 3 teams that are tied for first place in the conference heading into this week's games are all at Matthew Knight Arena this weekend. Arizona State and Oregon on Thursday. If the Ducks take care of business, and you assume Arizona takes care of business against Oregon State, sorry, Beavs, then it's probably going to be Oregon and Arizona on Saturday in a huge game with first place on the line again. Big games. Dana Altman talking with the media here yesterday afternoon. I'll tell you, he knows these are big games, and also pretty darn excited to have Fali Dante back. Here's Coach Altman.
What's your message to your team been primarily coming off the weekend?
We got to guard. God dang it. We're 1-5 in games we gave up 80 points. Easy baskets. And we're just not as committed on the defensive end as we need to be. Kevin gave me some stats. We're second in the league offensively and 11th defensively. So that'll give you an idea how far we have to go. And so yesterday was our day off. Today we did nothing but defense. And I don't know if it'll help us for Thursday, but we got to get better. We know that we can't give up 80. They shot 68% second half, scored 48 points. Not going to win many games like that.
How do you feel about Dante specifically on Sunday and kind of how he's progressed since coming back?
Dante played at another level. There's playing to win and playing. And probably Dante plays to win. I mean, he's been out 8 weeks, and he looked like the only conditioned, tough, hard-nosed guy we had. And Jermaine did a tremendous job on the offensive end, but Dante, there was a series there where he gets his shot blocked, he's standing out of bounds, he flies down the court, gets a hand on it, gets a steal, flies to the other end, gets a dunk. And, he led us in everything. He was 10 for 15 from the field, rebounded, led us 11 deflections, 6 assists, 1 turnover. I mean, it was a heck of a performance. And we got a bad habit of just watching him. We got to do a better job moving for him. He could add a couple more assists. But guys, we throw it in there and everybody's just like, go get a bucket, Dante. And, we got to help him out a little bit. And I think we're putting way too much pressure on him defensively. Dante will clean up my mistake, And, he's just not to that point yet. And, but like I said, I watched that film. I knew it when I left the game, but when I watched the film, I caught a couple other things that Dante was playing to win. And there's a big difference between playing and playing to win. And that young man, that was a tremendous effort.
Coach, what's been your perspective on Jackson's development this year, and just with the ups and downs, obviously, everybody goes through freshman year?
He's done a good job. He's a freshman. He had a tough road trip. We watched film yesterday, and he's got to get more active defensively. I don't think he's using his quickness. And but no, I like where he's coming from. He just had a tough weekend. I thought defensively he struggled a little bit, and we got ate up by 2 really good point guards, and we're just going to have to do a better job.
Along those lines, how do you feel like just you fix the point guard issues defensively, whether it's Key or Jackson or whoever else is out there guarding that spot?
They're quick, and we got to use that quickness. We're going to face another real good one in Collins on Thursday night. So our guys are going to have to do a better job. We got to help them more. We got to stunt more, get in those caps a little bit better. But they're going to have to pick it up. I'm not going to let them off the hook totally. But it's a team thing. We're not talking in transition. And, Smith pushed the ball, and we didn't give him much help. So again, defense is, they don't put individual. It's us against them, and we just haven't, like I said, given up 80. Drives me crazy. And some of the easy baskets we get.
Notice Mookie a boot over there during practice. Any update?
Yeah, he tweaked something in his foot at Utah. So I think we're doing some MRI tests on it, but he'll be out this week.
Same one as
Sir. It feels like throughout kind of this Pac-12 era, Arizona's often been the school where you guys are kind of as the measuring stick. Like, what do you take away from 10 years of playing them, and how important that rivalry was for you guys? Maybe even especially in those early years. I'm thinking like 13-14 in that East game where it's number 3 Arizona in this building, and it seems like something.
Yeah, no. When we came, UCLA had been off a couple Final Fours, and Arizona, our first year, won the league, and Washington was really good. So we kind of looked at those 3 schools as our main measuring stick, and that's what we got to catch. And our staff did a good job of finding some hard-nosed guys that wanted to compete, and within 3 years, we were catching them. And again, but I've got a lot of respect for Sean and now Tommy at Arizona, Ben Holland, and then now Mick. We got our hands full, and Arizona State came in here and thumped us last year. We don't get a chance to go back there this year, so it's a big game Thursday night. But no, Arizona, UCLA, those are two tradition-rich programs. We've tried to build some tradition. We've slipped here the last 2 years. We just haven't got to where we want to get to. And hopefully we're a little healthier now, and we can make a big jump here in the next month and go on a little roll. But it's not going to happen just by getting the guys back. We're going to have to improve a lot of areas.
Did you ever get up for like it always? I enjoyed watching you coach against Sean, and it felt like that was kind of a point in watching in the Pac-12. Like, did you feel those rivalries or so? Not, I don't know if rivalries is the right word, but kind of that watchability factor of it being kind of a big event when you guys were coaching against each other?
Well, you go there, and it's one of the top, in my opinion, one of the top 5 atmospheres in the country. So your guys naturally, they get excited for that. If you got competitors, we struggle a little bit more when there's nobody in the building. But our guys have gone down there and tried to compete. We've won a few. They've come here, they've popped us a couple times, but we've held our own, most of the time. But no, Tom does a great job. Sean did a great job. They've been the standard in our league. Will told me that, they've got the most wins in the last 13 years that we've been here. They got the most road wins. We're second, and so we've just got to get better, and we got to keep challenging our guys. But this week is big. We've got to play well against Arizona State. I think they're 5-2, right? They're 5-2. We're 5-2, and then Arizona's, is always a big game. So
Nate going to be able to give it a go?
I think so. He didn't feel comfortable last Sunday, but practiced hard today, and so we'll see how it feels tomorrow. I don't want to make any promises, but if he gets through tomorrow and gets through shoot around and he feels okay, I'd sure like to play him.
So ASU looks totally different from last year from a roster makeup perspective. Just what are your thoughts on them?
Really athletic, and really get up and pressure the ball. Our guards are going to have to do a tremendous job of handling it. Pop, a lot of big guys shoot threes, and so it'll be a challenge. Their athleticism is as good as anybody's in the league, and they play small, and they really get after you. So we'll have our hands full, and small lineup really hurt us at Colorado. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. Make sure we get some stops.
It's a limited sample size, but you're obviously impressed by what you've seen from Moseley so far. Do you think he just added anything to his game this year that he didn't have last year that you've seen so far?
He's shooting it a little bit better, which was something he worked on a little bit. When his knee wasn't quite right, he couldn't run a lot, and he just worked on form shooting. I felt so bad for him. He played his tail off, and he missed that free throw, and he really felt bad, And but we wouldn't have been there, if he didn't play his tail off the whole night. So I can't say enough good things about him. I'm just fortunate to coach him. He practices. He cares about his teammates. He's been loyal to Oregon. I love the kid. He NIL. He was more worried about taking care of his family back in Mali than himself. That unselfishness like that is what a quality. But he just continues to impress me, and his effort the other night, He was trying to get the guys to play at his level. We didn't quite do it, offensively or defensively, but it doesn't take away from his performance because he was really good. But again, I've been fortunate to be around him now for 4 years, and I just really like everything about it.
How can you not? I mean, that's Dana Altman talking a little bit about N'Faly Dante, and he's such an easy guy to root for. Every time we talk with a head coach, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. But yeah, I've been around Dante since he's been here. I would be lying to you if I didn't say that when Arizona comes to town, I will not be thinking about that poster dunk that he had on Kirk Risa last year. Let's hope we see a few more of those, huh? Yeah. Let's hear from N'Faly Dante when we come back. Quick timeout. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Back to the Country Financial Studio in a moment on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Just heard a little bit from Coach Altman. Now let's hear from N'Faly Dante. A lot of great things come when he's back on the floor. N'Faly Dante met with the media. Also a little bit of fun in this interview. You can't help but root for the guy. Here's N'Faly Dante.
How did it feel to be back out there this weekend and really playing, closer to your full potential?
Feel good. I'm feeling better and getting more comfortable. Better.
Okay.
Wow, come on, y'all. Don't do that. It's crazy. But what did you guys say again? Sorry.
I said how did it feel to be playing just
feel great. Feel great. Yeah, feel good. Just got to get in shape and then be available for my teammate.
How close? You thought you were really playing at a different level, though. So you say you want to get into better shape, though. I mean, how deep did you have to dig to play with the effort you played with last week?
I mean, my mindset to win the game was like I had to give whatever I got, So I was not even thinking about it, and I'm glad I get to do a little bit more,
How do you balance that and not re-aggravating your injury? It looked like you were pretty gassed at the end of the Colorado game. How do you, keep yourself healthy when you're so competitive?
Say that again, sorry.
How do you keep yourself kind of healthy when you're so competitive? And you're obviously out there in the fourth quarter trying to win, but at the same time have to be kind of cognizant of your knee and your injury, right?
Yeah. I think it's not fun, man. So I guess the attitude help a little bit. So, I don't know. Just try to do what's the best for the team.
What was this process like, recovering from this surgery, compared to like you went through with the ACL a couple of years ago? This was shorter term, obviously, but when you came back to compete and bring this team to the tournament, to sit out for 2 months, what was that like mentally, let alone physically?
I'm glad to have like coaching staff and then have like program like this help me to all of those kind of things. So I'm glad to have that, because if that was not a support, I don't think I could get it done. Everybody was stepping up, my teammate, and that meant a lot to me. It was easy for sure this time for me, mentally, physically.
Coach said today was all about defense. Do you think guys are getting the message that he needs to see you guys pick it up as a group on that end of the floor, play better defense?
Yeah, we need that. We need that. We all know we need that. So everybody buy in, and I think we're gonna pick it up. We don't have no other choice but just picking it up, all of us.
Where do you think you are in your recovery right now? Do you feel like you're 80%, 90%, 95%?
Oh, it's too late to think that way, We're in the season, so I gotta either 180. I just gotta, when I step on the floor, I just gotta do what I can to help the team. So, but to answer that question is, I feel really good.
Dante, Cario has a certain play style where he's a wing, but he uses his strength a lot, and he's always attacking the rim. As someone who plays a similar style inside, do you enjoy watching him on the perimeter the way he's played this season?
I'm glad to have him next to me, bro. Gonna take a lot of pressure. No one not gonna jump with him. Literally blocked me today, so it's great. I love it. Love him playing aggressive and Bam too, so it's great.
We hadn't got a chance to see you and Nate together a lot, except for the opener and a little bit last season, but one or both of you were hurt a lot.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like to have him back again and to be playing alongside him again?
It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited to see him healthy, and yeah, going to help a lot, They're going to double team, so somebody's going to be open in the court, and it make it easier for me too. So if I don't get it, he's going to get it. So I'm glad he's back.
What was it like the past couple of months? Obviously probably frustrating having to be sidelined and watching, but the team did pretty well while you and Nate have been out. What was it like kind of watching them, tread water and keep everything going while you couldn't play?
Well, I'm just proud of every single one of them, There was no excuses in the locker room. Everybody was bought in and played defense, I'm so proud of every single one of them. And now it's just, since we have a lot of people back, we got to pick it up the way they did.
Sorry. Does it feel like, you had big goals for this year. Does it feel like those are still all out there and attainable for you guys? Even though, you've been dealing with these injuries, you're coming off a tough weekend, do you guys still feel like you can have the season that you want?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. We have everything we need, so it's just has to be able to commit to it. So.
What can you say about Jackson's a young player, obviously adjusting to the college game and having success his first year in the game?
Oh, he's really good. I'm glad to have him in my point. He helped us a lot, and I know he's going to keep getting better, and he's special. That's all I can say.
Are you surprised that he's been so aggressive so early, especially offensively?
Oh, no. I know since before even he came to college, we played pickup before, so I see how good he is. So.
You ever look back at your freshman and sophomore year, like your post moves and stuff, and when you had your back to basket, and see how far you've come? Because you had a few this last weekend where I don't remember you doing that too much when you were an underclassman.
Well, it would help if I was healthy that moment, but I guess I had some to move, but if he's not healthy, it's not possible to play that way. So.
Something that's new for you this year is your jump shot. You've shown it a couple times now this season. What was the offseason like to develop that, to stretch it out?
I spent a lot of time with Coach Altman sitting here and telling me just shoot it high. So we working it a lot this summer. Last summer, Coach Altman and Mike and Corey.
Coach just mentioned how you've used NIL to help your family back home. How much has helping your family motivated you this season through your recovery process? How much does that fuel you on a day-to-day basis?
Can you say the first part? Sorry.
Coach mentioned how NIL, like how you've used that to help out your family back home. How much does helping your family motivate you throughout the season and through your recovery process and stuff like that?
Man, yeah, I got NIL and then building a house for my family. As long as my family is good, I'm good. But just gotta do whatever I can for people that try to help me and my family. Do anything for them people. So.
How can you not root for the guy? I mean, he's just such a good-hearted individual. That's N'Faly Dante. Great to see him back on the floor. You know, should we just go find the clip of him dunking on Kerr Kriisa and just play it a few times this week? Can you find it, Scott? I think we need that in our life heading into the last home game against the Arizona schools. I hate that I just said that out loud. These are the last home games, at least that I know of, on the schedule with the Arizona schools. Arizona State, first place on the line on Thursday. Arizona, hopefully first place on the line Saturday. It's the last time you're going to get to see these two teams in Matthew Knight Arena, and I hate there's been so many fun games between Arizona State and Oregon and Arizona and Oregon. Hope for some good environments. Hope to see all of you at Matthew Knight Arena this upcoming weekend. Shifting gears. When we come back, let's hear a little bit from the women's side of things, heading into their home weekend as well. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
Duck Insider, Duck Insider, Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. That small gray obstacle that you saw at the bottom of your screen was Alex Stimson. We have not mentioned that Alex is here today. Alex is setting up for basically camping out in the control room at Matthew Knight Arena this weekend. But I'm just glad to see that Alex he made an appearance, at least the top of the beanie made an appearance here in the studio. You've heard from Dana Altman. You've heard from N'Faly Dante. Now, let's hear a bit from Sophia Bell. Great connection. Chris Clayton talked with her this week for Tip-Off Tuesday. An Oregon legacy. Going to hear a little bit about that with Sophia Bell talking with Chris Clayton.
Sophia Bell, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You're a freshman on the Oregon women's basketball team, had a terrific season so far, so this is a great opportunity for fans to get to know you. They know you as a player at this point, but now as a player and a person. How's the transition been for you coming from Portland in high school and now living here and being a Duck?
I mean, the transition was super smooth. I finished high school in June and then got down here a couple weeks later. And, yeah, it's been great ever since. And so, yeah, super smooth transition, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
I assume this has been a dream of yours and something you've been preparing yourself for a while now. But has there been anything about the college game or just college life that's surprised you that maybe has been a bit unexpected?
I mean, yeah, of course, I've just grew up coming to games, and I've dreamed of being a Duck since I was like 5 years old. So, yeah, I mean, the college game is definitely different than high school or club. The physicality, the size, the speed. So, yeah, just really adjusting to that in the first few months was a bit of a challenge.
That's so cool to see your dream come true. You've been wanting to be a Duck for that long. I feel like some people say once they're a Duck, like, oh, yeah, I've always wanted to be a Duck. But you have truly lived that life. What's it like for you being able to put on an Oregon uniform after all the years of dreaming of it?
I mean, it's a dream come true. I started coming to the games. I think I came to my first game here, which was like the last game over in the other arena, and I was like 5 years old. And so,
across the court.
Yep. And so, yeah, just to be able to put on the uniform is really special. And yeah, it's a dream come true.
So, with that, with your background with Oregon, we have a random connection. I graduated from the University of Oregon in 2017. At my graduation ceremony, who's the keynote speaker? Greg Bell, your dad. He played for the Ducks in the 80s, and as a motivational speaker, among many other things, as a professional. But he was the commencement speaker. So for my experience, it was really cool, awesome speech, and powerful and everything. But that must have been cool for him, too, to come back to his school and be able to speak.
Yep, definitely. I know he was excited. It was a really cool experience. You know, we got to come down through the tunnel over at Matt Knight, and yeah, he obviously did the commencement. So yeah, it was a cool experience for him, and I had fun too.
How much influence did he have on you as not just a person, but also as a basketball player and growing your love for the game?
Yeah, I mean, he introduced me. It's funny. I at first, did not want to play basketball. I wanted to do something different. But, he forced the issue a little bit, and I obviously picked it up. And so, yeah, I mean, he's been coaching me since I was like 6 years old. And, yeah, he obviously has the background as an athlete, but also as a student here. And, yeah, he's just able to give me a lot of lessons.
What did you want to do outside of basketball? Or I guess still, what do you want to do?
I really like track, and I played a lot of tennis. When I was younger, my mom played tennis at Portland State, and so I picked that up when I was really young and just really liked it. And so, didn't always dream of playing basketball, but then, yeah, before in elementary school, it kind of picked up, and I really started to love the game.
When did you realize you were a little bit better than your friends and thinking, oh, I think I'm pretty good at basketball?
I mean, I had like kind of some natural athletic gifts, and so that definitely helped right away. But I'd say like 7th or 8th grade, I kind of realized I could take it further than just playing for fun. And yeah, that's when I started working really hard and, setting my sights on playing at the next level.
Yeah, I asked Grace Van Sluten that question, and she had a similar answer. She said, also, I was pretty tall, which helped.
Yeah, no, it makes a difference, the size and the speed at that age especially, yeah.
We're talking with Ducks freshman Sophia Bell here on Tip-Off Tuesday. So we talked with Kelly Graves earlier, and I asked him about you, and he had very nice things to say. And one thing he mentioned was your grades, how you had an over a 4.0. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. Right now.
So how? That's the question.
So over the summer, I think I had maybe 2 A+, and then in the fall term, I got an A+ in like my business class.
Man.
And so I don't know. I think it must be weighted at a 4.3, and then an A is a 4.0, and so it bumped it up a little bit.
That's amazing. So you're transitioning no problem. Yeah, and that's a lot of time to go to practice, be traveling for these games, and manage all your schoolwork. Is there any teammate or maybe a coach or someone that you've leaned on that's helped you make this transition to college?
I mean, we have, so many experienced players, Chance and Grace, have really helped me a lot with the transition. But, Peyton's also a great leader and has helped me too. So, yeah, just looking to my teammates for leadership and to them as leaders has helped. And then the coaching staff has just been great, getting me adjusted and then ready to play at this level.
This weekend, you were able to hit 5 threes over the course of 2 games. But one thing that's really stood out this year is your consistency on defense. At the top of that 2-3 zone, you're top 4 in the Pac-12 in minutes, so Kelly Graves does not like to take you off the floor. Where does that come from, just your tenacity and consistency on defense?
I mean, I've always taken a lot of pride in my defense. It's just a way I know I can impact the game and consistently impact the game, kind of like you said. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a mindset, and it kind of started developing later in high school. My junior and senior year, I realized I could really kind of dictate the game through my defense, and that's something that I've just tried to carry on.
For you now as a player, not just for this season, but looking ahead to your entire career, do you have any goals set? Is there something you look at and say, I want to accomplish this this year or by the time I graduate?
I mean, I'm just looking to get better, 1% better every day. And so I think that those little increments are going to transition into big things for both myself and for the team.
Is there anything in particular in your game you want to evolve in to take the next step as a player?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can become a better ball handler and just, looking to attack the basket more on offense.
That's awesome. Well, the last question I wanted to ask, what's been your favorite game so far this season that you've played?
I'd say the Oklahoma State game. It was just a great bounce back for us. We played together as a team all 40 minutes, so it was just, a really consistent display of effort, and I'm proud of how we played then.
Yeah, that was a great neutral site win in Utah over Oklahoma State, who's playing well in the Big 12. So hopefully more of that to come. It was fun to be able to get to know you, and it's fun for fans to be able to watch someone like you from the state with the ties to the University of Oregon with your dad and your mom with the coming from Portland State being ties to Oregon. So really cool. We're looking forward to watching it. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Sophia Bell talking with Chris Clayton. Isn't that cool connection? Greg Bell. I mean, that's awesome. What a fun storyline in her career. And certainly also a lot of pressure in her career, right? Like, that's a big name to try to live up to. That's cool, though. Sophia Bell. Oregon women in action. Some big opportunities ahead on Friday and Sunday. Oregon women's basketball at Matthew Knight Arena, 7 o'clock on Friday and at noon on Sunday. The Ducks will first take on Utah, then Colorado. 3-pointers are going to be a key for those games coming up. When we return, let's have a little fun, all right? Maybe at the broadcaster's expense. We'll have Knight give me a critique after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Look, this was one of the most fun moments from last year. There's just a certain level of excitement that comes with a big-time dunk in a big-time environment. There's also a certain basketball karma and just art that comes with who is the recipient of a poster dunk. Do you understand what I'm saying? In Folly Dante last year, this was fun.
Ball tipped out to the perimeter. Ducks have another possession. Kusnar to Biddle. Now Soares on a handoff. Into the lane. Bounce pass. Dante. Slam. Good find. Ducks steal it in transition. Dante to the bucket. What a poster slam. And Folly Dante. Intercepted in transition. Took it in. Poster slam. Dante firing up the crowd himself early.
And I gotta say, just chef's kiss on the poster. But credit to the officials for not calling a charge. It wasn't a charge, don't get me wrong. But let's just say it wouldn't have shocked me. And I like the fact that you let him play. And it was a blocking foul, which made it even better. But look, Dante has the ability to do that. It's funny, like, he has that slam early in the game. You heard I wasn't all that excited. Like, all right, bounce pass inside, Dante, dunk, great, cool. But then when he's the one that steals the ball in transition on the inbound around midcourt, takes it toward the hoop, slams it in Krisa's face, and you're like, wow, this is what this guy can do. The athleticism is off the chart. Easy guy to root for. Going to need some plays like that from N'Faly Dante, I think, against both Arizona State and Arizona this year. Last time that you get to cheer for the Ducks against those teams at Matthew Knight Arena for a while, I think. We'll have some fun with that. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to check in a bit with Oregon baseball. Also, full preview of men's basketball against ASU, some of the keys in that particular game. Because, look, you got to take care of business on Thursday. If you look ahead to Saturday, not going to be playing for first place, most likely. See how it goes. All right. Been a good show. But, yeah, preseason baseball. We're there.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military